Since the onset of the disease, we've gone from almost 242 million boxes in the state of Florida to now less than 70 million boxes. It's a dramatic change. My name is Kyle Story. I'm a fourth-generation citrus grower from Central Florida. The first signs of HLB, or greening, that we found was in 2005. We thought they were a nutritional deficiency in the tree, and we know now that was the first signs of HLB. Our first reaction was to immediately adhere to the advice of certified crop advisors, of the folks that we trust, and they advised us to spray for psyllids. Looking back on it, it was one of the wisest decisions we made. 10 years ago, I'd tell you I wasn't a farmer. Today, what we do in Florida to raise citrus is farming. CHIMAs are citrus health management areas. On a voluntary basis, you're trying to control psyllids on a much larger level. And 100% participation in those area-wide spray programs, those CHIMAs, is essential to psyllid control. We were very concerned for a long time here in Florida about what your next door neighbor was doing, and the term bad neighbor. We should have been more concerned about our neighborhood.
Neighboring groves that are abandoned are very problematic for the industry. I'm Mark Wheeler. I'm a fourth-generation citrus grower and fifth-generation agriculturalist here in Central Florida. We discovered HLB in our own groves back in probably late 2008, early 2009. We felt like the infection was relatively low, but we knew it was coming, and we were aggressive about pushing out trees at that point in time. We found early on that if you were spraying a block and your neighbor wasn't at the same time, well, the psyllids just moved from your block to theirs, and then a week later when he sprayed his, the psyllids came back to yours. We haven't been battling the disease long enough to know what an average tree age would be. We were able to treat the younger trees with a drench for the psyllid for the first couple of years. And where we'll shake out at, it's hard to know, but we're shooting for 15 to 20 years. And we're planting, most growers are planting a little higher density these days because the trees that were planted by my grandfather, they were expected to live 60, 80 years and be productive all through that life. But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be the case going forward. There's a lot of folks in the industry who maintain that the small producer won't survive, and I personally think it's the engaged producer is going to be the one who survives. We're in a different reality, and we have to embrace that. We have the world's most brilliant minds and scientists working on this disease. We've secured almost $200 million in funding for this research. And we feel that with all that brain power and with all those resources, with all the grower initiative that we see in each and every field, we're going to have to be successful. My biggest advice for California and their citrus industry is to be vigilant about psyllid control. We now know that the psyllids can fly up to 4 miles in a 24-hour period. They can fly as high as 3-story buildings. As far as combating the disease, our advice to producers in California would just psyllid suppression. Visit with your neighbors, set up a CHIMA and scout and know where the psyllid is, and just accept the fact that you're probably going to have the disease if you don't have it already. And the quicker you can hop on psyllid suppression, the better position you'll be in. 20 years ago, we were oversupplying our market, and you didn't want to help your fellow grower, and so you wouldn't openly share with them your growing practices of what you were doing right or wrong. Today, we're an open book. It's okay to make a mistake, but I made it for you. I hope one day to get back to the point where I don't want to share. That'll mean that we got to the other side. So if you have the opportunity to protect your neighborhood, sit down, talk with your fellow grower about the importance of psyllid control and the cost effectiveness of it down the road. It's vital to the future.